get started. So find your way down to your mat when you're ready. I'm just going to move my mat back a little bit. We'll start coming down into a seated position. So whatever that's going to be for you, you can go cross-legged, sit with your legs out in front of you, sit in a long butterfly. I'm going to tilt us down a little bit. Okay, and then once you get there, we'll take 4 big deep breaths. Inhale through your nose, fill your body up with air, expanding through the cage from side to side and front to back. And then exhale out, let all of that air go. For 3, inhale. And exhale, let it go. For 2, inhale. And exhale, let it go. And then one more big inhale. And exhale out, let it go. Okay. With that last exhale, let's reach the arms so they go out to T. Keep your hips anchored down into the mat. You'll take your right hand down, reach your left arm up and over, big side body stretch. And then exhale, take it up through center. You'll do that same thing over towards the left. Left hand down, right arm reaches up. For 2, we'll come up and over, taking the right hand down, reaching up to the left side. And then bring it up. We'll go over to the left. One more, up and over to the right. And then up and over to the left. Good. Then from here, let's reach the arms so they go up overhead, fingertips reaching towards the ceiling. You're going to inhale as you twist your upper body over towards the right, reaching the left arm forward, reaching the right arm back, twisting the upper body towards the right side of your room. Exhale as you come all the way up through center. Your chest turns towards me, both arms reach up. And then you do that same thing the other way, twisting to the left, reaching the left arm back, reaching the right fingertips forward. And then exhale, come up for 2 more each side. We'll go over to the right. And then to the left. One more to the right. And then to the left. Good. Both arms can come down and we'll move the legs so they go into a mermaid position. Left leg in front, right leg in front, left leg out by your side. From here, just check in with your body and see how things feel. That front knee is probably popping up just a little bit. The back hip is probably popping up just a little bit, and that's okay. We will never really get things fully anchored down from right here just because of the position of our hips, right? So you can let that back hip pop up if you feel like you want a little bit of cushion underneath that back hip. Go for it. Reach your arms so they go out to T. We're going to hinge forward from the hips. Once you can't hinge anymore, hands are coming down. We'll see if we can bend a little bit into the elbows, continuing that hinge forward. Good. You're going to exhale, come up out of that hinge, and then come all the way up to seated. Arms reach out to T. For 2, hinge forward. Hands come down. Can you get a little bit further forward, bending into the elbows? Press up out of that hinge, rebuild the spine, arms to T. One more. Good. And then everything can come down and we'll flip it over to the other side, taking the left leg in front, right leg out by the side, flex into your feet. Again, arms reach out to T. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, you start to hinge forward. Hands can come down. See if you can hinge forward a little bit more, bending into the elbows. Exhale as you press up. Hands can come off. Rebuild the spine, shoulders on top of the hips. For 2, inhale. And then one more. Good. And then shoulders on top of the hips. You'll lower the arms down. Bring your legs so they go all the way out in front of you. We'll do 4 roll-ups and then we'll move on from here. Legs go out. You can flex your feet. Open your feet up as wide as your hips or wider. I'm going to go about mat's distance. That's where I feel most comfortable. Arms reach out in front of you. Inhale to sit up tall. On your exhale, you think about pulling in from the center of your body. drawing the rib cage down towards the hips, curving your spine as you roll all the way down to the mat. And you'll take it nice and slow, letting the hips curl underneath you. Shoulders and head go down, arms reach back. Inhale. Think about taking up as much space as you can, becoming the longest version of yourself possible. Exhale as you lift your arms, press your hands down, tuck your chin to your chest, roll all the way up. Shoulders on top of the hips, and then we'll round forward through the upper back, pointing the crown of the head forward. Your arms are sliding across like a shelf as they reach out in front of you. For 3, inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, draw in, belly button to spine, create that deep curve. Roll all the way down, shoulders and head down, arms reach back. Inhale. Exhale, lift your arms, press your hands down, tuck your chin to your chest, flex your feet, squeeze your glutes, roll all the way up, and then round forward through the upper back. For 2, inhale, sit up tall, relax the shoulders. Exhale, draw in, belly button to spine. Let the feet move with you. Come all the way down, shoulders and head down, arms reach back. Inhale. Exhale, lift your arms, press your hands down, tuck your chin to your chest, roll it all the way up. And then round forward. One more. Inhale, sit up tall, relax the shoulders. Exhale, draw in, belly button to spine, curling the pelvis back. Go all the way down, shoulders and head down, arms reach back. Inhale. And then exhale, lift your arms, press your hands down, tuck your chin to your chest, roll it all the way up. Good. And then dive forward, reaching up and over. Bring it all the way up to seated, and then bring your hands behind your head. Reach your elbows so they go out nice and wide. Keep your feet flexed and really focus on just moving right here through the upper body. I want you to inhale as you twist over towards the left. Exhale as you come through center. Inhale as you twist the upper body over towards the right. Exhale, come through center. For 2, we go to the left. And then to the right. One more to the left. And then the right. Good. We'll take it through center and then curve through your spine, draw rib cage towards the hips. Your head will follow that same curve. So you're tucking chin to chest, you're curling the hips underneath you, and you're rolling all the way down to the mat, shoulders and head down. Ooh, take a breath right here. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. And then bend your knees, plant your feet flat on the mat. You can keep your hands behind your head, interlacing the fingers, reaching the elbows out towards the sides of the room. If you feel your hips kind of rolling down towards the bottom edge of your mat, try and roll them back so the hips and the rib cage are more in line. You feel a little bit more supported right there. You'll take an exhale as you start to lift up through head, neck, and shoulders, curling chin to the chest, looking forward towards the center of the thighs. And then inhale, you can lower all the way back down. Exhale as we curl and lift. Inhale as we lower. For 4, we curl and lift. And then lower. For 3. For 2. One more. Good. Bring your head down, hold it right here. Can you lift the left leg to tabletop, knee up above the hip? Pause right there, get your bearings. Can you lift the right leg up to tabletop as well? Both knees are up above the hips, the shins are parallel to the ceiling, and from the side, it should look like you have one leg. Okay, holding the legs in tabletop, we do that same chest lift. Exhale as you nod chin to chest, you curl up through head, neck, and shoulders. And then inhale, you lower right back down, moving at the same pace on the way up and on the way back down. We kind of like to plop down on the way back down to the mat or on the second half of the movement. So try to keep the pace the same. So you're moving slowly and with control as you come up, slowly with control as you lower down. Just for 3, lift and lower. For 2, And then one more. Good. Everything comes down. Your feet can come down to the mat. Bring your arms so they go out to T. So we'll uninterlace the hands. Reach your arms so they go out to T by your sides. Palms are pressing down into the mat. And you can even bring your arms down a little bit lower. I kind of like lower. My shoulders don't like being all the way up. So I'm going to go more into like a really wide, low V. Slide your legs so they go out in front of you. And then again, try and curl your pelvis back so that you're in your neutral spine. Lift your left leg so it goes up above your hip. Try and point into your toe as best you can. Maybe you need a little bend into the knee, and that's perfectly okay. You'll inhale as you cross the left leg over towards the right. Start to circle the leg down, and then exhale as you come up and around on the left. For 3, cross over, down, up and around. For 2. One more. And then reverse, opening out to the left, circling down, and then crossing up and around on the right for 3. For 2. One more. Good. Once your left leg comes up, back up above your hip, we're trying to stay anchored into the right hip. Keep pointing through your toe. It's going to be a little circle about the size of a dinner plate. So circling out to the right, go down, around, and then back up for 3. It's really small. For 2. One more. And then reverse 4 small circles. 4. For 3. 2. One more. And then you'll lower your left leg all the way down, letting your heel come down to the mat. If you feel your back arching off of the mat right away, it's all right. Mine did too. See if you can reset before we lift the right leg up, pointing the toe. If you can get the leg all the way to straight, I want you to try and do that. That's what we're aiming for. But if you need a bend into your knee, I want you to take that bend into your knee. Okay, you move through this however you need to. Don't feel pressured to do exactly what I'm doing. On your inhale, you're crossing over towards the left. Big circle. We go down, around, and then exhale as you come up on that right side for 3. Cross over, go down, and then exhale up and around for 2. One more. And then reverse, opening out to the right, circling down, around, and then exhaling as we cross up over towards that left side for 3. For 2. One more. Good. And then hold your right leg there. Keep your toes pointed, small circles the size of a dinner plate. We circle to the right, or sorry, to the left. We go down, around, and then back up for 3. For 2. One more. And then reverse, circling to the right, down, around. Think about sinking your ribs back towards your spine. For 2. One more. Good. And then you can lower your right leg so it goes all the way down, meeting the left. Um, from here, before we move on, I want you to open your feet out towards the sides of the room. So think about pulling the pinky toe towards the mat. See how that opens up your hips? And then you can exhale, bring the big toes towards each other. Try to turn the heels out. And your knees might bend a little bit there too. That's okay. We go for 3. Open the feet, open up the hip. And then exhale, you can bring the big toes towards each other, heels go out. For 2, open. One more, open. And then bring it in. Good. From there, we'll bend the knees, plant the feet flat on the mat. Take a second right here and just breathe. Your feet are about hips distance apart. We're going to do some bridging, but before we do, I want you to take your hands so they come to the outsides of your hips. Just make a C shape with your hands. Cup your hips like that so you can feel the front and you can feel the back, and just kind of feel around for a second. What do you feel? Do you feel a bony part at the front of your hip? Can you feel just kind of where your glute maybe inserts into your pelvis? Maybe you can, maybe you can't, maybe you just like can't really feel a whole lot right now, and that's okay. Can you press down into your right heel? Can you press down into your left heel? Okay, do you feel what it feels like in on each side of your body? Like, how many times can I say feel in one sentence? Inhale, you're going to tilt your hips forward so that your back arches off of the mat. When I say forward, I mean tilt them like down towards your feet. Let your back arch off of the mat. And then exhale, you're going to curve the spine, tilt it the opposite way. So think about pulling the bottom of your hips upwards towards you, and your butt might lift a little bit off of the mat. For 3, you're going to curl forward, tip the pelvis towards the feet, let the back arch, and then you'll go the opposite way. For 2. One more. We curve, and you can feel your pelvis tilting one way. Feel that, feel what that feels like. See what that feels like to have your pelvis in a different position. I'm like, why can't I think of a different word than feel, and then curl it back? Okay, now we want to find that kind of middle spot between those two. So between an arched back and an imprinted spine. That's what this is called when we're mashing our lower back down into the mat. So we're finding an in between. There might be a little bit of space between you and your mat, and that's okay. What I try to look for here is the front of the hips, this landmark point, and the bottom of the rib cage. They should be in line with each other, and that's a good way to know if you're in your neutral spine. Arms come down by your sides, roll the shoulders down into your mat. I want you to press down into your heels evenly. See if you can tuck the tailbone a little bit more, and your hips might lift a little bit. They'll continue to lift a little bit as you peel the spine off of the mat. Lift your hips so they come up to bridge. Inhale at the top. And then exhale, you move just as slowly all the way down. Think about melting down through the spine, behind the rib cage. We'll get to about mid back. We get to the lower back, and the tailbone comes down. We'll keep moving from there. Exhale, press down into your heels. Curl the pelvis back as you peel the spine off of the mat, lifting the hips up to bridge. Inhale. Exhale as you lower all the way back down, nice and slow. 6 more like that. Press down into your heels. Tilt the hips towards you. Peel the spine off of the mat. Lift the hips up to bridge. Inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down. For 5. For 4. For 3. For 2. Keep moving nice and slow. Check in with the rest of your body. Can you feel the shoulders creeping up towards the ears? Can you try and relax them a little bit? Maybe reaching the fingertips a little bit further away from you. Think about reaching out through the fingertips towards the bottom edge of your mat. One more. Good. Bring it all the way down. Pause right there. We'll bring the feet a little bit closer to each other. See if you can if I can't talk. See if you can connect the big toes, maybe the ankles, the knees, the inner thighs. And again, we'll move through our bridges from right here. Just notice right away before we move how you can feel your pelvis in space. Do you feel yourself arching forward? Do you feel like it's a little bit easier to be in neutral right here? Take note of those things and carry them with you throughout the rest of your practice. Roll the shoulders down and back. Exhale as you press down into your heels. Draw the inner thighs closer to each other. Curl up through the pelvis, lifting up through the spine. So we come up to bridge, a little bit more wobbly on this one. Inhale at the top and then exhale. You sink down through the spine. So we go down at the back of the rib cage. We get to about mid back, lower back comes down, tailbone comes down, and we keep moving from there. Press down into the heels. Find a connection to the center of the body. Inhale, exhale, lower. And if it feels really wobbly, that's okay. That's okay. We won't always feel perfectly stable, but we're aiming towards that. We're working towards that. But nothing will ever be perfect, and that's okay. It shouldn't be. This is 6. Oh, yeah, I'm real wobbly today. Good. We'll go for 5. Press down into your heels. Curl the hips back towards you, peeling the spine off of the mat. And then lower it all the way down. For 4. For 3. For 2. And 1 more. Good. And just take a second right there. We're moving through one more bridge series, just like that, different foot position. So walk your feet out wider than your hips. You can turn your toes out just a little bit. I don't want them to be all the way out towards the edges of the mat, because look what happens when we turn the toes out that much. Like knees are way open, hips are way open. So it's just a slight turn out of the toes. Okay, arms go back down by your sides. See how your hips feel with the feet a little bit wider. It might feel more stable. You might feel like you're better able to hold neutral. Again, you just take note of all of these little nuances, all of these little things. And if you're not quite like grasping everything today, that's not a big deal. Arms down by your sides, roll the shoulders down and back, press down into your heels. Start to curl the pelvis towards you as you peel the spine off of the mat. Lifting the hips, you'll come up into bridge. You can pause at the top, inhale, exhale as you lower all the way back down. Now imagine each little bone in your spine is pressing down to the mat one by one. It's physically impossible for it to happen like that, but that's what I want you to think about. Good. Tailbone comes down. We inhale and then exhale. Press into your heels. Curl the pelvis back. Roll the spine up. Come up to bridge. Inhale. Exhale. Lower. For 6 more, and just check in with the rest of your body. Are you still breathing, or do you feel like you're holding your breath? Are you clenching your jaw? Good. Is your tongue pressing to the roof of your mouth? Can you relax? Can you just take a big exhale, let all of the air go, let all of your mundane worries just kind of escape your body for the next, 20 minutes or so. For 4. For 3. For 2. And then one more. Good. Everything comes down, your tailbone hits the mat. You'll keep your feet nice and wide right here. Move your arms out just a little bit wider so they're more in a low V. You'll inhale to drop both of your knees over towards the left. Right hip can lift, right shoulder stays down. And then let's take this twist a little bit further. Can you look over your right shoulder? Good. Exhale, move your head first, bring your head back through center, and then take the knees up through center. And inhale, you'll drop both knees over towards the right. You can let your left hip lift, but we're keeping the left shoulder anchored down and we're taking that twist a little bit further. Can you look over your left shoulder? Good. Now we come out the same way we came down. We move the head so you're looking back up towards the ceiling. We take the knees so they come back up through center. And then let's just hug the knees in towards the chest. We can take a little rock from side to side. Maybe you feel like it's a little massage on your lower back. Sometimes it's kind of nice. I'll say that, but not all the time. Not all the time. Okay. From here, we're going to roll over onto our left side. So scoot your left hip towards the back edge of your mat and then lay it all the way down. The good news is we're not going to do a whole lot right here, but circles are always kind of nice to do. I want you to extend your legs out so your feet are reaching towards the bottom right corner of your mat. Feet are flexed. We're pushing that right hip down. Right hand can come in front of you, and then you're lifting your right leg up. You're going to kick that right leg back, and we start to draw a circle. You lift your leg up, circle forward towards me, and then press it back. We go for 3, lift up, circle forward, and press back. It's 2. One more. And then reverse, kicking forward, circling up, around, and back for 3. For 2. One more. Good. And then you can take your leg down. We're going to roll things forward so that you're face down on the mat. Hands just underneath the shoulders. Elbows can pull in kind of tight to the body. Your feet are reaching back. You're pressing the tops of your feet down. I want you to inhale, keep pressing into the mat. Start to lift your head, lift your chest. And then exhale, bring it all the way back down. For 3, inhale. Exhale, lower. For 2, inhale. Exhale, lower. One more, inhale. Exhale, lower. Good. Let's see if we can go up a little bit higher. Inhale, keep pressing into your hands. Lift your head, lift your chest. Can you lift the elbows? Can you relax the shoulders? Can you lift up a little bit higher, continuing to press the hands into the mat? And then exhale, we lower things down slowly and with control. For 3. For 2. And then one more. Good. With that last one, we're just going to roll right over onto our right side. So I'm going to face away from you for just a little bit, just for ease of transition. We're rolling onto that right hip. Your legs are reaching out in front of you. So we're kind of in a banana shape. And this might be good for us to see a different angle of this. We're pushing the left hip down towards the feet so we can get a little bit of lift and engagement into that right side oblique. We'll lift the left leg up. You can point the toe, and on your inhale, you start to lift your leg up. You're going to circle forward and then kick your leg back for 3, for 2, one more, and then reverse kicking forward. Exhale as you lift up, around, and back. For 3, inhale, kick forward, up, around, and back. For 2, one more. Good. Left leg comes down, and then again, we're going to roll forward so that we're face down on the mat. Hands just underneath the shoulders. Elbows are pointing back towards your feet. You're relaxing your shoulders away from your ears. Legs are glued together. You're going to press up and away from your mat. And then hips go all the way back towards your heels. You'll find a child's pose, rounding forward through the spine, pressing down into the heels of the hands, maybe even opening your knees up a little bit wider than your hips so you have some room. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Let it go. Good. And then when you're ready, we're going to pull things forward into a tabletop position. We'll take a brief little stretch before we move on to more. Wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. You can untuck your toes so the tops of your feet are pressing into the mat. Inhale, you'll arch into your back, drop the belly button down towards your mat, open up through the chest, draw the shoulder blades together. Exhale, press up and away, curving the spine, pointing the crown of your head down. For 3, inhale. Exhale, press up and away. For 2, inhale. Exhale. One more, inhale. And then exhale, press up and away. Good. Come back into your neutral spine. It doesn't have to be a perfectly flat back. You're just going to inhale, send your hips back towards your heels. And then exhale, pull forward, coming back to tabletop, maybe even a little bit further forward than tabletop. For 3, hips back towards the heels. Exhale, things come forward. For 2, and then one more. Good. Hands stay where they're at. Tuck your toes under. Now you get to flatten out through your back, pressing the space between the shoulder blades up. We'll take an exhale as we hover the knees off of the mat. Inhale. Another big exhale. Press your hips up and back. Try to straighten out through your legs as best you can. Let's press the left heel down, bend into the right knee, and then press the right heel down, bend into the left knee. For 2, we press the left heel down, and then we press the right heel down. One more, we press the left and then press the right. Lift up through both heels. You're really high on your toes, and then try and push both heels down towards the mat. Start to walk your hands in towards your feet, anchoring your heels down, soft bend into the knees, and just let the upper body relax. Let the spine decompress. Point the crown of your head down towards the mat. Just letting the upper body hang a little bit. When you're ready, you'll press down into your heels. We'll bring things all the way up to stand, rolling up through the spine, shoulders on top of the hips, crown of the head lifts up. Good. Shoulders on top of hips. And once you come all the way up to stand, we're going to stay here for just a little bit. We'll do a little bit of standing stuff. I'm just going to turn you guys up a little bit so you can see everything. Okay. All right. Once you come up to stand, we're going to do just a little bit of ankle mobility things, and then we'll do some fun standing stuff. So feet are going about hips distance apart. You want to find your standing neutral. So again, hips and rib cage are in line. Hands can go by your hips. I'm going to hold on to my coffee because I need a little bit more. On your inhale, we're going to try and shift our weight forward into the balls of the feet, lifting up through the heels. And then you can exhale, press your heels back down. Now you can keep a soft bend into your knees, especially if you feel like you have a tendency to lock out your knees. If you know that you hyperextend at the knees, I hyperextend at my knees. So I have to always keep a soft bend for 4. For 3. For 2. 1 more. Good. And then bring your heels together, toes apart. We'll do that same thing. We start with a little bend in the knees. We re-find our neutral hips and rib cage in line, shoulders on top of hips. Inhale, you're going to shift your weight forward into your toes. Can you lift the heels? Exhale, can you bring the heels back down? And the toes and ankles might get a little crackly. That's okay. Lift and lower. Lift. Good. For 4. For 3. 2. And then 1 more. Good. With that last one, I'm going to turn this way, but you can stay facing wherever you're at. Feet are going about hips distance apart. And let's start with our left leg being our working leg. So that left foot's going to go a little bit forward. Your hips are squared off to whatever's right in front of you. We'll take the right leg. You're going to inhale as you step that right leg back, tuck the toes under, hinge a little bit forward into your hips, finding a reverse lunge. We'll press into that front heel, come back up to stand. And then the next time you step back, you're going to go back into a curtsy lunge. So stepping that right foot kind of to the outside edge of the mat, little hinge forward, and then we come up. And we'll keep going like that. We go 1 reverse lunge and up, 1 curtsy lunge and up for 4. For 3. For 2. One more. Good. Now we go back into that reverse lunge again. Don't go so far down that you can't come back up. Maybe about halfway down. Most of your weight is in that left leg. We're getting lighter through the right toes. Just for 6, we'll pull the right foot in to meet the left and then step it back out. For 5. For 4. For 3. 2. 1 more. Take the right foot in, stay down in your left leg again, just about halfway. Like you're going back into your curtsy lunge, you're going to reach that right foot back and across. And then for 6, we do that same movement. You pull the right foot in, and then you step back and across. For 5. For 4. And that right hip will open up a little bit. That's okay. For 3. For 2. 1 more. And then come all the way up to stand. We go right into that same thing on the other side. I'm just going to flip this way so you can see from this view. Feet about hips distance apart. We're pressing down into that right foot. Hands can come to your hips. We're going to take our left foot. You step back, reverse lunge, little hinge forward, pressing into that right heel to come up. You come all the way up to stand, and then we go back into our curtsy lunge. reverse lunge, up, and then curtsy lunge, and up, just for 4. For 3. For 2. And then 1 more. Good. Well, come all the way up. You're going to go back into that reverse lunge about halfway. Most of your body weight is supported on that right leg. We're hinged forward, getting lighter through the left toes. For 6, we pull the left side in and then step it back out. For 5. For 4. 3. 2. 1 more. And then take your left foot in. Now you're going to step it back and across towards the outside edge of your mat. And then bring it back in. For 5. For 4. For 3. 2. 1 more. And then come all the way up to stand. Take a second right there. I'm going to turn towards you. You'll walk your feet out wider than your hips. All 10 toes are facing forward. On your inhale, I want you to shift over into that left side. So we're going to send that left hip down and back, bending into the left knee, hinging into the hips. And then exhale, you press into the heel. You come back up to stand. Inhale, we move over towards the right. And then press up through center. Inhale to the left. Exhale up through center. Inhale to the right. For 3. And 3. For 2. One more. And then 1 more. Good. Everything comes up, feet stay nice and wide. Reach your arms so they go out to T. Inhale as you twist over towards the left, hinging at the hips, reaching the right hand towards the outside of the left foot. Exhale all the way up through center, untwist, and then take it to the right, hinging at the hips, reaching, the left hand to the outside of the right foot. Come all the way up for 2 more each side, over to the left, hinge and reach. To the right, hinge and reach. 1 more to the left. And then to the right. Good. Keep your arms out. Find a flat back. You're going to hinge forward at your hips. Nice flat back. Crown of the head points forward. Take your left hand, bring it down, reach up through that right arm. You can look up towards the right fingertips. Exhale through center, flat back, and then take the right hand down, reach up through the left arm. You can look up towards the left fingertips. Good. We'll come back to center, flat back, arms reaching out, and then take both of your hands down. You're going to heel toe your feet a little bit closer to each other, and then take a big bend into your knees. You're going to find a deep squat, as deep as you feel like is comfortable for you. And then exhale, you can press into your heels, press the hips up, 2 straight or relatively straight legs. For 3, we'll bend and press. For 2, bend and press. 1 more, bend and then press. Good. And then once the hips come back up, I'm just going to spin around towards the back edge of my mat. You can walk your hands out. We'll find a plank, shoulders over the wrist, tailbone tucked, long line from the crown of the head all the way down to your heels. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. Good. Drop down to your knees, untuck your toes, press your hips to your heels, find your child's pose. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out, let it go. Good. Walk your right hand over to meet your left. Hands over at the left edge of the mat. We're trying to press back into that right hip. Good. And then walk both hands over towards the right, reaching towards the right edge of the mat, trying to press into the left hip. Good. And then everything's going to come back through center. You can walk your hands in towards your knees. We're going to lift up into a kneeling position. If you'd like to come down into cross-legged instead, that's cool with me. Or reach the arms up overhead, fingertips towards the ceiling. Try and relax the shoulders, roll them down and back away from your ears. And that might open your arms out a little bit wider than your shoulders. That's cool. We take the right hand down. You're going to reach the left arm up and over. And then exhale up through center. We take the left hand down, reach the right arm up and over. Good. Staying heavy into both hips for 2 more. We come up through center. Right side down, left arm reaches up. And then we go left side down, right arm reaches up. For 1 more, right side down, left arm up. And then left side down, right arm up. Good. Everything can come up through center. And then from right here, let's come to our tabletop, tuck the toes under, hover the knees, and then press the hips up and back. Good. Inhale. And then exhale. Start to walk your hands in towards your feet. Anchor your heels down, soft bend into the knees. Start to roll your spine all the way back up to stand. Shoulders on top of the hips. Crown of the head lifts up. And once you are in standing, you are all finished with me. Hopefully you enjoyed this class. Remember, you're awesome. You can do anything you put your mind to. And I'll see you back here for our next one.